Part 1 of Prelude. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Prelude by Katherine Mansfield. 1.
There was not an inch of room for Lottie and Keisha in the buggy. When Pat swung them on top of the luggage, they wobbled. The grandmother's lap was full, and Linda Burnell could not possibly have held the lump of a child on hers for any distance. Isabel, very superior, was perched beside the new handyman on the driver's seat. Holdall's bags and boxes were piled on the floor. "These are absolute necessities that I will not let out of my sight for one instant," said Linda Burnell, her voice trembling with fatigue and excitement. Lottie and Keisha stood on the patch of lawn just inside the gate, all ready for the fray in their coats with brass anchor buttons and little round caps with battleship ribbons. Hand in hand they stared with round, solemn eyes, first at the absolute necessities and then at their mother. "We shall simply have to leave them, that is all. We shall simply have to cast them off," said Linda Burnell. A strange little laugh flew from her lips. She leaned back against the buttoned leather cushions and shut her eyes, her lips trembling with laughter. Happily, at that moment, Mrs. Samuel Josephs, who had been watching the scene from behind her drawing-room blind, waddled down the garden path. "Why not leave the children with Bee for the afternoon, Mrs. Buddell? They could go on the dray with the stallman when he comes in the evening. Those things on the path have to go, don't they?" "Yes, everything outside the house is supposed to go," said Linda Burnell, and she waved a white hand at the tables and chairs standing on their heads on the front lawn. How absurd they looked. Either they ought to be the other way up, or Lottie and Keisha ought to stand on their heads too. And she longed to say, "Stand on your heads, children, and wait for the storeman." It seemed to her that would be so exquisitely funny that she could not attend to Mrs. Samuel Josephs. The fat, creaking body leaned across the gate, and the big jelly of a face smiled. "Don't you worry, Mrs. Burdell. Lottie and Keisha can have tea with my children in the nursery, and I'll see them on the dray afterwards." The grandmother considered. "Yes, it really is quite the best plan. We are very obliged to you, Mrs. Samuel Josephs. Children, say thank you to Mrs. Samuel Josephs." Two subdued chirrups. "Thank you, Mrs. Samuel Josephs." "And be good little girls, and come closer." They advanced. "Don't forget to tell Mrs. Samuel Josephs when you want to." "No, Grandma." "Don't worry, Mrs. Burdell." At the last moment Keisha let go of Lottie's hand and darted towards the buggy. "I want to kiss my grandma good-bye again." But she was too late. The buggy rolled off up the road, Isabel bursting with pride, her nose turned up at all the world, Linda Burnell prostrated, and the grandmother rummaging among the very curious oddments that she had put in her black silk reticule at the last moment for something to give her daughter. The buggy twinkled away in the sunlight, and fine golden dust up the hill and over. Keisha bit her lip, but Lottie, carefully finding her handkerchief first, set up a wail. "Mother! Grandma!" Mrs. Samuel Josephs, like a huge, warm, black silk tea-cosy, enveloped her. "It's all right, my dear. Be a brave child. You'll come and play in the nursery." She put her arm round weeping Lottie and led her away. Keisha followed, making a face at Mrs. Samuel Joseph's placket, which was undone as usual, with two long pink corset laces hanging out of it. Lottie's weeping died down as she mounted the stairs, but the sight of her at the nursery door with swollen eyes and a blob of a nose gave great satisfaction to the S.J.'s, who sat on two benches before a long table covered with American cloth, and set out with immense plates of bread and dripping, and two brown jugs that faintly steamed. "Hello, you've been crying." "Oh, your eyes have gone right in." "Doesn't her nose look funny?" "You're all red and patchy." Lottie was quite a success. She felt it and swelled, smiling timidly. "Go and sit by Zadie, ducky," said Mrs. Samuel Josephs, "and Keisha, you sit at the end by Moses." Moses grinned and gave her a nip as she sat down, but she pretended not to notice. She did hate boys. Which was
Sample complete. Ready to continue?